Can I promise you something? Promise me. If I'm not your sister, then me, I'm fake. You got the video, right?
Yeah, I got it.
I call the cops.
Barbara's story shook Orlando in 2020. At just 27 years old, she was ambushed outside her workplace, multiple times by the man who once vowed to protect her, her husband, Pastor Sylvester Ofori. Behind the pulpit, Ofori preached faith. Behind closed doors, chilling threats and abuse painted a very different picture. Barbara Tommy, known affectionately as Famia, was just 27 when she was tragically taken from the world on September 8, 2020. Born on January 23, 1993 in Orlando, Florida, Barbara grew up surrounded by a supportive, close-knit family who always believed in her potential. Described as intelligent, ambitious, and compassionate, she pursued her education relentlessly. She earned a bachelor's degree in finance from the University of Central Florida in 2015, later advancing to obtain a master's degree in strategic communications and leadership. At the same time, Barbara built a successful career, serving as an assistant manager at Navy Federal Credit Union, a role she held for over 5 years. Beyond her professional and academic life, Barbara was deeply rooted in faith. It was through her church that she met Sylvester Ofori, a charismatic and well-followed pastor of Floodgates of Heaven International Ministries in Orlando. Known as a self-proclaimed prophet with tens of thousands of social media followers, he commanded attention with his dynamic sermons and motivational speeches. Their relationship blossomed under the illusion of shared devotion. Barbara's family had their doubts. Her sister Sophia later revealed that Barbara married Sylvester when she was just 22 and right out of university, despite family concerns and cultural tensions. But love and faith seemed to bind them. They married in September 2015, and to onlookers their life together appeared idyllic. However, the facade crumbled quickly. Within a year, reports of domestic instability emerged. Police were called in 2016 after a violent confrontation, in which Sylvester resisted arrest, yet Barbara chose to stay. Behind closed doors, what had once felt spiritual and supportive turned oppressive and dangerous, marked by emotional abuse, jealousy, and control. Sophia later exposed even darker undertones. Sylvester reportedly underwent a spiritual backslide, involving visits to a shrine in Zima, Ghana, and urged Barbara to join him in occult practices. When she discovered his choices, she moved out and filed for divorce roughly 3 months before her death. He nearly choked her during a home visit on September 6 as she came to retrieve documents, an incident intense enough that her brother intervened and was captured on video. Sophia also revealed that Barbara, as the family's primary breadwinner and property owner, was being supported by him and that his fear of losing it all may have triggered the fatal act. Every detail, from Barbara's brilliance and faith to the chilling descent into control and violence, paints a heartbreaking portrait of how quickly promise can turn to peril. But before that tragic morning, there had been a warning. One so clear and so chilling that Barbara's family would later say they knew something terrible was coming. After Barbara's brother had pinned Sylvester in a chokehold during the heated family confrontation and finally released him, Sylvester didn't shout or argue. Instead, he straightened himself, fixed his gaze coldly on Barbara's brother, and with unnerving calm, muttered a chilling threat. "You have no idea what I'm capable of. You'll see." Those words silenced the room. It was no longer just a family disagreement. Everyone present felt it. This was darker, heavier, something far more dangerous than anger.
I supported you because I thought you were different. So now you are not like your family. Call your sister. Yes, I'm here to support
the same sister.
And I'm always
the pastor told you that she was empty.
Which pastor? Name that pastor. Name that pastor. Which pastor told me my sisters?
The same sisters.
Which pastor? Name the pastor. You are a pastor. You. Oh. You don't know whether you are confirmed or not. You are a pastor, my friend. Get the out of here, we didn't come here for you. We did not come here for you. Don't let me leave. We didn't come here for you. We came to make something.
Can I promise you something?
Promise me.
If I'm not your sister, then me, I am fake.
You got the video, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Call the cops.
No, it's
No, call the cops, Jen.
Barbara's family urged her to go to the police immediately to document the abuse and threats. But Barbara, like so many victims of domestic violence, hesitated. She didn't want to escalate things.
Just make sure it's there so we can go. If that's it, let's go. Let's just get the hell out of here.
Is it it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Make sure it's... Let's get out of here. We ain't coming here no more, Barbara. You lost all this.
You heard what he said?
Is there anything else you need to get? Barbara, we're done.
Whatever you want to get.
Yeah, we're done. You lost all this.
no. I'm gonna come back for it.
You gonna come back for what? No, it's okay. It's okay, Barbara. Why is this a joke
You
to
may
you?
not want to have him arrested, but you have to make a police report. You have to have a police report.
She still clung to hope that Sylvester would change, that the man she once loved could return to the husband she thought she had married. Experts say this emotional cycle, fear mixed with hope, is tragically common among abuse victims. It's not weakness, but rather a psychological trap, a blend of dependency, shame, fear of retaliation, and love that keeps victims tied to their abuse even when danger is clear. Barbara's family was frustrated, heartbroken, begging her to break free. But she resisted, believing she could handle it, believing she could hold her world together. If you're finding these stories meaningful or informative, please consider subscribing to our channel. It really helps us keep bringing you more content like this. Then came September 8, 2020. Barbara woke up and prepared for work as if it were just another ordinary day. Maybe she was trying to compartmentalize, pushing the terror of the night before aside in exchange for routine. She drove to her job at Navy Federal Credit Union in Orlando, unaware that Sylvester was already watching her every move. He had tried calling her repeatedly that morning. Barbara, determined to focus on her work, ignored the calls. But Sylvester, consumed with rage, had been lurking in the parking lot. Witnesses would later recall how he stood waiting, calculating, watching as Barbara stepped out of her car. At 9 a.m., as Barbara walked toward the entrance of her workplace, Sylvester approached from behind. He pulled out a concealed handgun. Without warning, he opened fire at point-blank range. Multiple bullets tore through her body, and she collapsed in front of horrified witnesses. The shots echoed across the lot, and Barbara lay in a pool of blood just steps from the door she walked through every morning. What stunned witnesses even more was Sylvester's demeanor afterward. He didn't run immediately. He stood there, cold and motionless, staring at what he had done. When he finally walked away, it was slow and deliberate, as though he were unaffected by the horror he had just unleashed. But what Sylvester didn't realize was that the entire attack had been captured on surveillance cameras from the credit union building. His face, his actions, every shot, it was all on video. When police arrived minutes later, alerted by frantic 911 calls from Barbara's colleagues and bystanders, they found the heartbreaking scene. Barbara was pronounced dead at the scene. Meanwhile, officers launched a manhunt for Sylvester. He didn't get far. Within hours, they tracked him to the home he had once shared with Barbara. He was arrested without resistance, his calm demeanor strikingly at odds with the calculated violence he had just committed. From the very beginning, investigators knew this was no crime of passion, no sudden outburst. The evidence told a different story. The surveillance footage, eyewitness accounts, and the history of abuse pointed to one conclusion: this was deliberate, premeditated murder. And the most disturbing part wasn't just that Barbara's husband had killed her, it was that Sylvester Ofori was a pastor. A man who preached love, forgiveness, and faith to thousands. A man who stood on stage as a spiritual leader, calling himself anointed, even a prophet. To his congregation he was a shepherd. To Barbara he had become a predator. As the case unfolded, the world would soon see that the man behind the pulpit had been hiding darkness all along. And what investigators uncovered next would shock not only Barbara's family but an entire faith community. Police interviews with family members, friends, and witnesses quickly uncovered a disturbing pattern. Sylvester Ofori had been abusive and controlling toward Barbara for years. Behind closed doors, the respected pastor of Floodgates of Heaven Ministries was not the man his congregation thought they knew. Barbara, only 27 years old, had tried to escape multiple times, but fear, lingering love, and financial dependency often pulled her back. Her sister, Jennifer Tommy, revealed a chilling detail. Just one day before the murder, she recorded a heated argument between the couple. In that recording, Ofori explicitly threatened Barbara's life, saying he would kill her. Even more damning, the shirt he wore during that argument was the exact same one he was later seen wearing in the surveillance footage of the murder. It was undeniable proof that his threats were real and imminent. The community was stunned. How could a man who preached about love, forgiveness, and God be capable of such violence? For many, the revelation shattered the illusion of who Ofori really was. The investigation quickly shifted from shock to the pursuit of justice. Once in custody, Ofori's defense team did not dispute that he had killed Barbara. Instead, they tried to soften the crime by portraying him as a man consumed by overwhelming emotions. They argued that the collapse of his marriage, the pressure from Barbara's family, and his financial struggles drove him into an uncontrollable rage. His lawyers painted him as a broken man who simply snapped. But the prosecution pushed back hard. They argued this was no crime of passion, it was premeditated. The video evidence, the eyewitness accounts, and the chilling surveillance footage outside the Navy Federal Credit Union all pointed to careful planning. Prosecutors highlighted Ofori's long history of domestic violence, prior arrests, and repeated threats, including one made just 2 days before the when he vowed to kill Barbara if she left him. That revelation sent shockwaves through the courtroom. Barbara's family testified about how they had begged her to leave him, warning her of the danger. But like so many victims of abuse, she had clung to hope that things would eventually get better. Tragically, that hope cost her life. In July 2024, nearly 4 years after Barbara's murder, Ofori sat calmly throughout, showing little visible remorse. At one point, it came to light that he had rejected a plea deal that could have given him 50 years in prison, believing his defense strategy might reduce his sentence to just 15 or 16 years. It was a gamble that backfired spectacularly. After only 3 days of testimony and deliberation, the jury returned its verdict. On July 25, 2024, Judge Michael S. Kranick sentenced Sylvester Ofori to life in prison without the possibility of parole, plus a mandatory minimum of 25 years to life for using a firearm during the murder. Surveillance video, witness testimony, and family accounts painted an inescapable picture of premeditation. Still, for Barbara's loved ones, the sentence, though just, could never undo the devastation. Her story became a tragic reminder of the dangers of domestic abuse, the importance of taking threats seriously, and the devastating cost of silence. Vigils were held, candles lit, and people gathered, even those who never knew her, because her story resonated. At her memorial service, the church pews overflowed as loved ones shared memories of her kindness and faith. Stay safe, look out for one another, and we'll see you in the next video.